Mr. Katsoulakos, thank you very much for your interview. Let's start. I would like you to tell me what's the significance of the EMAR project regarding the European maritime shipping.
Well, the EMAR project is trying to support the maritime initiative generally, which again is aimed to improve the efficiency, the security, the safety, and the sustainability of shipping. And the way that we try to do that is by looking at innovative means of collaboration models of the shipping company with the various stakeholders and a broad range of stakeholders. So we are looking both the shipping company, how it interacts with the shippers, with the charterers, how it interacts with their own suppliers. So that is the way that they create their own direct network of interactions that perhaps has the biggest impact on their own efficiency, perhaps the quality of their own services. But in order to move further, to grow, to become more competitive these days, they need to interact also much more efficiently with particularly ports and terminals. And also within the logistic chains. This is where there is a big movement of particularly ports taking the initiative to creating much new innovative models like the extended gate and so on, where seaports are becoming the starting point for very well specified extended gates of the port through inland terminals connected with rail and other modes of traffic. So cargo is moving throughout, for example, all of Europe. We are creating a European transport network which is unified, and shipping has to be 100% linked in that transport system.
I'm realizing that after 2015 it's going to be a big difference in how the e-commerce is working. So how the EMAR project will affect the sea commerce after that?
If we are looking at sea commerce as a part of the broader growth of e-commerce generally, I think this is a very interesting area, because what we are seeing that even through this recession, e-commerce has grown significantly in every country, and there are very special challenges in this area, because of course here what we need is to link the end of the chain, the way that we distribute the goods at the last mile. So how we deal with particularly, of course, very special areas, how warehousing, how is optimized to deal with e-commerce, and how all this end of the chain is linked to the shipping, and how the demand side of shipping can be harmonized with what is happening in e-commerce is one of the new areas of research. It has not been really looked at up to now, and I think this is an opportunity where, again, shipping can play a bigger role to ensure that this growth of e-commerce effectively is something for the future.
Okay. So I would like you to explain us what single maritime window practically means.
Right. That is the maritime single window. I think perhaps we should start by saying single windows have been developed and used now for a number of years, mainly from the customs side, for the trade side. And therefore, there has been at least a lot of experience of such single windows in something like over 100 countries where they have been implemented, that we know that they create a lot of benefits, and enormous benefits for improving trade and improving the way the economies of and the way that perhaps people can participate in improving trade. Now, with the maritime single window, the motivation has always been to ensure that the formalities at the ports, which is a big burden for shipping operators, are reduced. So that is the main purpose. And so what it means is that until now, when a ship arrives in a port, it needs to provide information and documents to different authorities. So to maritime authorities, to customs, to health authorities. And quite often I have been in ports, in big ports in Barcelona, where you go and you see a vessel coming, and you see about 10 trays, one next to the other, and somebody has to go and put the same documents for the 10 different authorities, and then manually then somebody has to take them into the various authorities and so on. So it is a very, very inefficient system. The Sigluido, what it means is that a ship comes in the port and provides all the information that is required by law once. With a single point of contact, it sends all the information, and then the Sigluido transfers what it is necessary in each authority, and each authority then interacts through the Sigluido with the shipping company. So the benefits are enormous. It transforms a multi-channel manual system into a very efficient Segway way through which the shipping company can provide this information. And what is more important is that at the moment, of course, shipping companies do these formalities through ship agents. So in each port they have a ship agent, and the master has to do a lot of work in order to provide all this information. The big difference is that, of course, from now on, with Sigluidos in place, all the information which needs to be reported can be extracted automatically from the ship applications that are running on board the ship, or the office applications that the company has. So a company has the ability to link their own fleet management systems with the reporting system, and all the information automatically will go to the Sigluido. So that is really what it is, and why it is so important that in being, I think, put in place as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very important one. So, how the EMAR program as itself serves the EU maritime policy?
Well, at the top level, the EU policy has always been to create, from a ship perspective, to integrate shipping in the European ship transport system. So, at the highest level, what EMAR has done is through these collaboration platforms, through the EMAR ecosystem, enable this integration to take place. Mm-hmm. Through both what we have done with the EMAR Maritime Strategic Framework and the EMAR ecosystem, we have made this possible. In other words, now the shipping services can be 100% integrated in a transport system which includes all the stakeholders from the start to the end, the people who plan the transport chain, the people who monitor it, the people who ensure that all compliance takes place. Everything can now be integrated within that environment. So we have tried to implement what it is the most important goal for EU policy at that high level. And of course, the Sigluido, maritime Sigluido, has been an important part of also European policy in the last 3 or 4 years, because again it creates a playing field for shipping to become equally flexible in terms of perhaps making a more sustainable means of transport particularly within Europe, and particularly, of course, with utilizing short sea shipping. So, in terms of the development of the maritime Sigluido, EMAR has probably made a huge impact because it has created 2 products, both for authorities and the businesses, which has not been done by anybody else. Everybody else has perhaps looked primarily at the authority side. We are looking at both. We are testing both. We are at the moment have created reporting gateways for the shipping companies, and we are testing them with SafeSeaNet, with the IMP project. EMSA has created a prototype Sigluido. It is used by all the member states, and we are testing the prototype software that we developed in IMAR for the business side to ensure that this can be done efficiently and at least with the confidence that the whole thing works.
Mm-hmm. I see. So I'm supposing that the program is working pretty much well so far. What is Inlecom's contribution to the program and to the project, and how do you evaluate the results?
Okay, I think the two big outputs that come out of the project is first of all the e-maritime strategic framework, and we have contributed significantly in its development together with BMT and Danaos, of course. But the biggest contribution we have made is that we have used that in the IMAR ecosystem, which is something that we have designed and we have implemented its first, at least, implementation, which we call INLEMAR. And now this is probably the first time such platform exists in shipping, together with the Danaos platform. I would say that this is the most important contribution we have made. We have now two platforms, the Danaos platforms and the Inlecom platform, which are totally interoperable, using effectively the maritime framework, using these new technologies, using cloud, using intelligent systems, using semantic technologies. So we have brought everything a step forward from where we were a year ago for some time now, and I think that is what I believe is the biggest, most significant contribution we have made. We have made it realistic for everybody to expect that the shipping software in the future will be interoperable. That was the biggest obstacle for ICT, I think, use in the shipping world.
Yes, I see. Well, the last question. Since we're in Piraeus today, what would you advise the Greek shipping companies regarding the innovations of the project?
I think there are again those two aspects which are important for the shipping companies. One is in the area of compliance. With the Sigluido coming in place, there is a huge opportunity for the shipping community to look how they are doing their whole compliance, to see how what are the options to meet the new requirements, and to rationalize the best way forward that fits with them. We have now products that are available to them that will ensure that with very little costs they can probably investigate this opportunity properly, thoroughly, in time, and have within the next year something that will eliminate a huge cost for them and ensure that they have no headaches in the future related to compliance. So I think that is my advice to the shipping company. Get into the road of preparing for how you will deal with the Sigluido.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.